Good evening. If you're doing this in the evening, I've decided that I'd like to make little decorations for a little tree and have all the decorations out of fabric. So I've started with a very simple decoration. It takes 3 pieces of Christmassy fabric or whatever you choose. It's 2 inches across and 7 inches down, and you need 3 of those per star. You need 2 buttons, one for back, one for front. Ideally, the holes, if you're going to be putting your needle through, the holes are going to be matching up. That's something to think about. But you can also use this kind of button as well. Just tie the string through. I'm going to be putting the button on with 2 strands of embroidery floss that have been like doubled and tied at the end of my needle. That's what I'm going to be doing. But they're kind of cute. Anyway, I've done them out of burlap too, so I'm going to start. You can use, like I said, an assortment of colors, but I'm just going to use this gold one here because I've already got one started. I'm going to start with your pretty side down. You're going to go up and you're going to fold this into a little triangle, making sure that your edges are nice and close to each other there. You're just going to set your iron on there, give it a shot of steam. It stays kind of on the bias, so you don't want to stretch that there either. So fold again. I'm just going to kind of fold the whole thing up until there's just a little bit of fabric at the end, which we're going to tuck in. And again, see, this wants to overlap. Just try and bring it back if you can to keep these points nice and sharp and pointed. That's why they're points. Make these out of paper as well for little children too, and I'll give you a really quick sample of that in just a minute too. You can do it with glue, don't have to do it like this. Keep folding. I've done this out of a wider fabric too, out of the burlap. It was 3 or 4 inches wide. When I get to this point, I'm going to take this back and I'm going to fold this piece of fabric, a little extra. I'm going to fold it down to about where that tip is and give that a nice little shot of steam. That way when we tuck it in, it's going to stay where we tell it to go. And when we open this up, I'm just going to cut these corners off so that when we do tuck it in, it's not bulky. Fold that back over for that triangle, and this is going to be tucked in to this opening facing you there. Tuck it in real good. It just takes a little maneuvering and you get her in there pretty good. And again, give it one nice shot of steam again. Not on your finger like I just about did. And that's your little triangle. Like I said, you need 3 of these. So we're going to bring this one down. This takes a little bit of maneuvering to get these stars how you want them, but this first one's going to go on a bit of an angle here. And this one here is going to go on top. There's going to be a little bit left over, and the point's going to come down to about that edge. And then this here is going to match up with that. And if you don't like your star, you can move it a bit. I think my first one should be on a bit more of an angle. Yeah, that's a better star. Maybe even a little bit more. I like that right there. And I do have my thread ready. And again, this is 2 skein, 2, and then 2, and then double. I'm going to try and get mine in the center. There's a lot of fabric to go through there, so it might take you a little bit of work. I do have a small set of pliers here just in case, and I needed it. So I'm going to use these little red buttons here, put it through the loop, and put it down through. Give it a press and a pull. Like I said, there's got to be 10 layers in there at least, I bet, right? And this is going to go through. You can use these on your tree. You can use them on parcels, little decorations. You can just use them. You can hang them off your light fixtures, garland, whichever you decide. And they're really not using a big piece of fabric, so they're more using your fabric scraps. And if you find your star is not staying like you want it, you could always put some fabric glue on it and just let it set so that your little points are staying where you want them. And you can adjust this once you get the button done too. And that actually stayed pretty close to where I wanted it. Yeah, I think so. And then I'm just going to pick whichever one. Put a string through at the top. Give it a little knot. And we have a star. And again, that's a solid color, and we've got multiple colors there. Depends what you're going for in the tree. Same thing for the, again, this paper width is 2 inches by 7 inches. Exact same thing. You can give a nice sharp crease without an iron on your paper. Can't do that with fabric. Just use a little bit of fingernail. Nothing to do with bias. Ain't going to stretch on your paper probably. You're probably good. And again, cutting a little bit off with your scissors for paper, not cloth. Tucking it into that one close to you. And again, it's the same idea. If I can get this right. Always takes me some figuring out to get it right, and it will take you some time too. Same idea. You can put glue between your layers, and then you can put a clip on it. You can put your button on too if you like. Let that sit. Put a string on it, or whatever you want to use it for. You can even use it as a bow. And that's that. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks. Bye.